Welcome to Stories of Hope. I'm Christine Hotchkiss. Each week, I bring you stories that will inspire you, educate you, and give you hope. I want to thank my studio sponsor, the Motivated Mind Group, a global creative agency based right here in downtown Chandler. And I also want to thank today's business sponsor for today's episode, RAD. RAD is a nonprofit 501c3 organization founded by parents of individuals with disabilities and other concerned citizens 18 years ago. As an organization of volunteer fundraisers, they are extremely proud of their history as a charity that uses almost 100%, wow, 100% of their donations to support our citizens with disabilities. RAD stands for Recreation and Athletic for Individuals with Disabilities. Please help me welcome my guest, President-elect Karey and her daughter, Kelly, and we have Joy, the service dog. Welcome, ladies.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So we have someone that's taking a nap, so we won't disturb her. Kelly, you and I actually met a couple of other times. Or excuse me, Karey, you and I had met a couple of other times, and you're the president-elect.
Correct.
So tell me how you got to be in the position of RAD as a president-elect and what you're doing, and then we're going to talk to Kelly.
Oh boy. So Kelly actually, when she turned 16, really became involved with the City of Chandler Therapeutic Recreation. And as part of that, I discovered RAD, Recreation and Athletics for Individuals with Disabilities. They are fundraisers and they pay so our kids can play. Our motto is we pay so others can play. So what they do is we now, because I'm actually part of them, we do big fundraisers like our golf tournament coming up April 8th and our Bowl-a-thon on August 5th. And we raise the funds so we can cover the cost of our dance. We'll give them the money for the catering, for the DJ, for the photo booth. We cover the dues for Special Olympics for when our athletes are going to be competing at the regional and state levels. We sponsor a movie night in June and December every year. We throw a barbecue for all of our group. We throw a huge Christmas party with Mesa. We throw a Halloween party with Mesa Therapeutic. So we provide those social opportunities that our population normally doesn't get once they leave school. We right now focus on 16 plus, but we do have classes and opportunities for our younger athletes and friends.
16 plus. So there's no cap on that plus?
Nope, 99. If you're 90, 100, we might have to have a conversation.
And disabilities, you want to clarify?
A disability is anything that affects one of, they now say there's 12 major living areas according to ADA that keeps you from living a normal life independently like everybody else. It can be anything from mobility to cognitive. They even include reproductive health as a disability now under ADA.
I have not heard of that.
That was a new one for me, neurological, you name it.
Wow. And so you've got me twice here now, or two things here. You've got the 100% and then that. So now you've clarified what the disabilities are, which is a big spectrum of. We have Kelly, and who's with us today that's taking a nap?
Joy.
Oh, so Joy, okay, we won't disturb her. You, tell me why you have Joy as your service dog.
I help the seizures.
Seizures. So is that epilepsy? What is that?
You have epilepsy?
Yep.
Okay. So
Yes.
how does Joy help you?
Because help the
What does
seizures.
she do for you when you're having a seizure? Does she catch you if you're going to fall?
No.
No?
Sure.
Does she tell people when you're about to have a seizure?
Yeah.
Does she let people know?
Yeah.
Does she help you on curbs so you don't fall?
Yeah.
What else does she do for you?
Help school.
She helps you at school. What does she do for you at school?
Look at you on the screen, Kelly.
Her little petite.
I love it.
Yes.
What does Joy do for you? Did she try to get you out of the crowd when you're having a seizure so you don't get run over?
Yes.
So she sounds like a superhero.
Is she a superhero?
Is she a superhero?
Yeah. Almost done.
You're fine. Look at the camera. Let's talk to Miss Christine. She's asking questions.
So I understand that this is a very big week for everybody with Super Bowl, and I understand that there's some events that you're going to be a part of, and one of them is a prom?
Buddy prom.
That's next week. What's this week?
What's this Friday?
Shine.
What is it? Time
To
to...
shine.
Time to shine.
Please.
It's okay.
Look at Miss Christine.
Are you excited to be a part of that?
Yep.
Okay, are you taking anybody with you?
Kai and Jordan.
Jordan. Who's Jordan?
Girlfriend.
You're his girlfriend?
Kai.
Who is he to you?
Kiss him. A sexy. Sorry. High five. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay, Kelly. So I'm going to ask, does Joy go with you all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is where the third wheel is okay to be a part of a fun thing.
Is it okay
Is
to
it
have
okay to
Joy
have Joy
even
with
when you
you?
go on a date?
Yes.
Has Jordan managed Joy with you before?
Yeah.
Did you ride on a plane with Joy before? And Jordan?
Yes. Tara says
We'll do that later. You're talking. Answer.
Oh, it's
Focus.
okay. So Night to Shine prom, I understand this is a big deal. So tell me more about where it was founded and what it's about.
deal.
I know, right? It's a big deal. Do you get dressed up?
You wearing one
no.
of your pretty dresses?
Yeah.
Did Jordan
Okay.
get a new shirt?
Yeah.
So I understand that there's a
Nope.
well-known name that's attached to this. Who is that?
Tambo.
Tim Tebow. All right, Mom, tell me more about this event.
So this is an annual event. I believe this is our 7th year to go, except for COVID. They did drive-through, so we've done 2 drive-through, but in person. Churches sign up to do this. They are expected to follow certain things. Everyone gets a crown, king or queen. Everyone gets to walk across the stage with their name announced. Everyone goes down the red carpet with their own paparazzi. There's DJs. There's usually a quiet room. Dinner's provided. They have limo rides. We have gone to a church in the past that actually had carriage rides and a party bus. There's a caregiver room, and it's just a really good time. There is a message from Tim Tebow at the end of the night on a big screen, and he does start, like the day before in other countries, jumping from location to location and dropping in on certain proms. We've never been at the prom where he's dropped in, but we're hoping one of these days he'll show up at one of our churches.
Maybe this year.
Maybe this year, right?
Because we do have the Super Bowl going on here.
Well, you would think, but I think there's 10 churches in the Phoenix area doing it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to cross my fingers, and then we can do a follow-up to see if that
Okay.
Kelly got to be a part of that and meeting Tim Tebow. That would be so cool.
That would be amazing.
Reveal tomorrow.
No, it's a one and done answer.
So we talked about RAD, and Kelly has epilepsy. Now, when you and I first talked on the phone, you took me back a minute because I shared with you my personal story of loss of a child, and you said to me, "Oh, this is something I deal with every day," and that struck me because mine's final, as anyone else would have lost a child, but yours is an everyday feeling or thought and fear. Please elaborate on that for us.
You know, it's interesting because you get used to what you know. So we have a child with well, not a child anymore, are we? We have a young adult. But then you hear about John Travolta's son, or you hear of another. We had a friend recently in the last 2 years, actually a member of RAD, and the mothers and father are on the board, whose son also had a seizure, and he did not survive the experience.
Oh.
And so from a day-to-day perspective, you don't want to think that way. But the harsh reality is any of our kids with any of these disabilities that can result in early death, you know it's a possibility, but it becomes so standard that you don't think about it until something major happens.
Well, I've interviewed a lot of different people, and I love to observe people, and we're all one tragedy or change away from our lives being completely different and the new norm, I'll call it, the new norm of what happens. Take us through a day with Kelly in the event that she does have a seizure.
We have multiple seizures. The interesting thing about autism and epilepsy, we actually have both. 80% of your children are your individuals with, it's hard not to say children, but you're going to be 21,
21. I know
in July. She's not a kid anymore. She's been a legal adult for years now. Guardianship, that's a whole nother conversation, what happens when our young people become adults. But The interesting thing is there are multiple kinds of seizures. Most of us think of the standard seizure that you see on TV where it's full body shaking, their eyes roll back in their head. There's everything from the space out seizures, which are absentees, to partials where maybe it's just one arm doing this, or it can be something where she just spaces out on us or she falls to the ground, all the way up to a grand mal, what used to be called grand mal seizure, where you're calling 911 and you're pushing emergency meds. We actually have a weird seizure called a gelastic seizure, which is a giggle seizure. We don't have those so much anymore. They actually originate at the base of the brain, and it's hard to test for those. And because of her other diagnoses, we chose not to make that test. But the giggle seizure is like a laughing hyena, and they can't stop. It's the weirdest thing.
No big
Do you remember
deal.
those?
No.
Do you remember the giggles?
No big deal.
Not anymore. We don't have those as she's matured.
Okay.
But so depending on we have absentees every day. We probably have a small, minor, like partial onset a couple times a week. And we have our big ones about once every 4 to 6 weeks.
So this might sound like a strange question, but Kelly, I'm going to ask you, because this is your norm.
No big deal.
No big deal.
That was my answer. I didn't even ask the question.
Tickles.
Giggles. Does it scare you when you have a seizure?
Yeah.
Does it? Are you aware of it, or do you only after?
That was my next question.
After.
Yeah,
After.
every once in a while she'll tell us beforehand. The dog usually tells us.
Okay.
Or those of us that have been with her long enough, there's a look. Our first dog was trained on scent, and she could smell it and see it, and she was amazing. She had to retire, unfortunately. This one is not quite as good at the scent work, but she does catch the micro face movements and stuff, and something's different a little sooner than I do, but way sooner than most other people would. But there's a very definite look. There's a face change. There's a color change. There's a positioning of the mouth. There's a look with the eyes, and the eyes go back and forth.
As a mother, how much sleep do you get knowing that this could happen at any time?
A lot more with the dog.
Yeah.
Because she will wake us up before we have the dog. And even now during high seizure activity periods, she'll sleep with a parent, not just rely on the dog. But it's at the point now where the dog wakes you up, you kind of turn on the light, you look at her and go, okay, she's fine, and go back to sleep.
So the dog notifies you all the time, even just...
She's about 93% accurate. She'll miss a little one here or there. We don't train our dogs to catch the absentees because she has so many. She's had 3 since we've been sitting here that I've seen. Little absentee seizures.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, well, but yeah, if I had her alert for all of those, we'd never get anything done.
Okay.
So she only alerts at a certain level. Our first dog would alert at a certain level, and if it was going to be a big one, she would bark. So everybody knew if she barked, call 911 because it was going to be a bad one. This one doesn't have that level of discrepancy.
Okay.
Discernation. I can't say discernation. She doesn't discern the difference. She just knows there's something going on.
Tell Sally what happened because first person left the room because of Miss Brittany's class.
Yes. So you need to say, as part of my seizure plan at school, if I have a seizure, people are supposed to leave the room and give you your privacy. Yes.
For what reason? Just because I have never experienced it or seen it?
We don't see it so much, but a lot of times during it's embarrassing. Think about being in high school, and if you were to lose bowel or bladder control, having everybody see that. We don't typically have that. We've been very fortunate. In fact, I don't think we've ever had that.
Okay.
But it is a very common phenomenon. People don't need to be sitting there videotaping that and posting it on social media.
I never thought to be cruel like that. So that's why
but kids
I
are.
asked. Yeah, kids are. Now that you put that out there.
Plus, it gives her privacy. It gives them a chance to deal with it, to make the phone calls and talk to me without a bunch of interaction.
So, Kelly, this might be a question that you can answer. So, if you're going to school, and you've already talked about being on a plane, and I understand that your 21st birthday, you're going somewhere. Where is it you're going?
Say Auntie Mike.
See Magic Mike.
See Magic Mike. What? Who's that?
Magic a dad.
What is Magic Mike? What do they do?
Girlfriend.
What are you gonna see when we go to Magic Mike?
Sexy.
Sexy what?
Man.
What are they gonna be doing?
Kissing.
No, they're gonna be dancing. Oh my gosh. So you think about it, your typical 21-year-old, their friends are gonna take them out.
Yes.
They're gonna enjoy their first multiple drinks. They're probably gonna, drinking free all night. Well, that's obviously not going to happen.
I was going to ask that. I don't think that was even an option, but you're going to watch everyone else be silly.
Oh, she'll probably
Okay.
have her first legal adult, not like she's never had one.
Okay.
Yeah, we won't talk about Mexico.
Okay.
But yeah, she will order her first drink. She can gamble for the first time. We're going to get front row seats at Magic Mike. And we're going to have the banner that says 21 and legal and see what happens.
I'm going to look for the
Touch
pictures.
him.
Want to go?
Yeah.
Touch him.
No, you can't touch. No touching.
No.
Take
no.
a picture with Uncle Mike.
Now, wait a minute. Back in the day, they were called Chippendales. Is that not the
Oh
same?
no, well Chippendales was the original one.
Oh,
Magic
okay.
Mike is more of an athletic dance and
Okay.
a little different.
Okay, we're going to leave that off of here. It's a family show. So with that, that means Joy's going to be there. She's going to
No,
No?
Why won't Joy be there?
because man stabbed Donkey's tail.
We're not gonna let her step on the tail. We'll put her underneath the table.
Oh,
Take
okay.
But good job protecting your dog.
Absolutely.
What floor? Hey?
Well,
I'm
she's
not-
protecting you. You got to protect her, right?
I'm
Is that what
not
it
driving in
goes?
the car with you for 6 hours without that
Excuse
dog
me?
back there.
Yes.
And dog's name is Susie.
Your first dog was Cece, but we're talking about Joy. Right?
So when Joy goes everywhere that you get to have fun, how does she go to the bathroom or eat? And we already know she's taking a nap right here, so.
So where does Joy go to the bathroom?
And studios.
We're at Universal Studio. Where's the potty spot at Universal Studios?
That's the ride.
Right by the dinosaur ride.
What about school?
Where does she go to school?
Yes.
Where do you take her?
Corona.
But where at Corona does she go potty?
And training.
Out in the, does she go in the back or do you guys go out front by the office on the grass?
From the off in the grass.
So
We have
then-
designated bio break locations.
So then she lets you know, like, she's watching over you, right?
I watched going bench.
Yep.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay.
Yep. So it depends on where we are. She's trained to go potty on command. We control when she eats and drinks, so we know when to expect it. But she is a dog. You
So
do have
tell-
your unexpected.
So tell me the rules. I've already broke the rules when I saw a dog. Who doesn't when they see a dog? Do you want to go
wanna
up
tell
to
her
it?
the
You want to
service
tell me
dog
the
rules?
rules about
Yeah.
service dogs?
Don't,
Touch.
don't,
Look.
don't,
Don't. Feed.
right? And don't.
Kissing.
So we have two versions. We have the adult version, please don't look, touch, talk, or feed our dogs. Or we have the more adult version, which is please be respectful of the dog, please do not feed them, please do not talk to them, please get out of the way of the service dog team, please do not ask the person what's wrong with them, please feel free to compliment and ask questions about the dog directly.
You just threw something in there I would have never asked. What's wrong with them?
That's why everybody wants to know why you have a dog.
Interesting.
Now, you're welcome to ask under ADA, you can ask, is it a service dog and what task does it perform?
Okay.
If you're in certain states, service dogs and training are allowed full
Seizure.
access, like Arizona.
Medicine.
But if you go to California, they're not. So in those states, you may find out they'll say, is the person with the dog?
Do you have to have certifications?
There is no national certification, and that is a problem in some regards because anyone can buy their vest on Amazon and claim it's a service dog.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we don't like that. That's bad. But there is a fine now. In Arizona, I believe it could be up to $400 for a fake service dog.
Which goes back to the
Dude.
question of someone asking what's wrong, but really you can't ask what's wrong.
But
So
you can
there's
ask what task is the dog trained to perform.
oh, and that's how you know. Aha.
But you can tell a service dog by behavior.
Sure.
Any of us that have a real service dog would love a national test, honestly, because then it would weed out the fake service dogs. There's nothing like walking through Universal Studios and having an unaltered male try to get friendly with your female dog not once but multiple times in an aggressive manner. That's not a service dog.
That's not a service dog. No, they're trained. So what is the training process?
It takes anywhere between 2 to 5 years depending on the kind of dog. So if you look at a guide dog for a blind, they typically do 2 years with their puppy trainer and then they go through and do their final training. So they're usually about 2 to 3 when they're placed. Other dogs, depending on their skill set, typically the first year is learning how manners, potty on command, how to behave in public, puppy culture, exposing them to stuff, and then you finish them off with their task work. Our first dog was good to go 18 months. She was still rough at 2 years and 3 months when we finally turned her on. So
Okay.
we usually say it's a 2 to 3 year process, but the first year is how do you behave? Where do you in the bathroom? Do you want your dog looking underneath the stall at other people, or how do you put the dog in the stall or go into the bathroom on an airplane with the dog? or worse yet, you can have 2 service dogs if they provide 2 different tasks. So how do you go to the bathroom on a plane with 2 service dogs?
Well, look how big the dog is.
I know.
Okay.
I've done it. It's fun.
Take dogs for a Caribbean ride.
Well, you tell her at Disneyland or Universal, the dogs can. They can go on some of the rides.
Yeah.
No, they cannot.
Look at her and tell her what rides.
Kelly, they go on ride. Joy's going on a ride with you?
No Benjamin.
No, she can't do Richmond. But what does she ride? What does she get to ride? Does she ride Caribbean?
Yes.
Does she ride It's a Small World?
My
Yes.
favorite.
Does she ride Kung Fu Panda?
Yes.
Monsters Inc.?
Yes.
Oh, fun rides.
Pretty much any of what I would consider the easier rides. Nothing that spins, nothing that goes upside down,
Oh,
and it has to have a floor to put the dog on.
Rank Tony Honor.
No, she can't ride Harry Potter at Universal because there's no floor.
Right.
Can't
So
put the dog-
Kelly, when you're on an airplane, does she get a seat and sit next to you, or does she stand on the floor?
Send the Thor.
She's on the floor. Okay.
Sorry, no have Frozen right.
We're not talking about that right
Wolf.
now. What? Woof, woof, woof.
Good dog.
So you're in school. What school do you go to?
Corona.
Corona. What grade are you?
5th.
What are you?
Scooby Dooby Doo.
Are you a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, or returning senior?
The senior.
Returning senior.
That's okay.
So under IDEA, our individuals with disabilities can remain in school until they turn 22, with the expectation that it may take them a little bit longer or they may need modified curriculum. So she is about to be 21. She is a returning senior. This is her 6th year there, so she's a 2nd year returning senior.
Okay. And that's a normal thing, disability or not.
Yeah.
It just depends on our learning curve. To talk about RAD, you have to have a disability. We kind of talked about this beforehand. It's for disabilities, but you had clarified that there were certain things that you weren't
Right,
sure
so
was
there are some activities like the family picnic, like the luau, excuse me. You don't have to have a disability, you can register to go for that, you'd be included in that. If it is something specific like our social groups, like our sports through Special Olympics, you do have to have a disability to be a participant and receive funding from RAD, but you can still be involved as a volunteer or support.
What's the process for someone to actually qualify, I guess would be the right word, to be a part of RAD?
Anybody can join RAD as a volunteer, friend, supporter, or whatever. So we are an inclusive group, inclusive to everybody. But as far as benefiting from the fundraising that we do, you would sign up through Chandler Therapeutic Recreation. You would go through their process, and they have some screening and some questions to answer, and then you would fall into these programs. We don't necessarily say, I'm going to give you a $200 scholarship, but hey, you qualified for this event, or we're going to have bowling every Saturday, and so for every bowler, we're going to sponsor $4 of their weekly fee, and we're going to pay for the 3rd Saturday of the month for all bowlers.
What, are you wanting to say something, Kelly?
Services cannot on the ride.
Yes, we talked about service dogs on the rides.
What is your favorite thing to do?
What do you like to do best?
Studios.
You like going to Universal Studios? Do you like it regular, or do you like haunted horror nights?
Horror night.
Oh, you like scary stuff.
Now, does she go in the haunted houses?
No.
Did she originally go in the haunted houses?
No.
She didn't go through with us?
Yes.
And what happened in Pandora?
Uh-oh.
Something popped out at
And
lower.
scared her. Oh no.
Yeah, something popped out low level and it got her. So now she's
Okay.
not a big fan.
No, I'm not a fan of that stuff anyways either, so I can relate.
So Sally cat he growl and hiss.
So say at Universal this year, a cat character came over the wall and growled and hissed and kind of startled her.
Okay.
Joey freak out.
She was startled.
So I have a final question.
Last question.
But before I ask the question, is there anything that you want to add that I didn't ask you?
Take us go Coronas.
You do take your dogs to Corona. How many schools have you taken a dog to? You took them to elementary, you took it to middle school, and now you're in high school. So you've taken dogs to 3 different schools.
Dogs love on the trip.
Are you going to go to college? No. Okay.
No, are we looking for a job?
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that.
So did you work this summer?
Yeah.
Where did you work? Where did you go and work with Miss Presley?
A cat.
At the Cats at, was it Heidi's Village?
Yeah.
What'd you do at Heidi's Village?
I hold a cat.
You held the cats. Did you clean the trays?
Yeah. Cat ran off.
Yeah, and then who caught the cat? And what did you do with
They're
the
very
cat?
independent.
Put him in a cage.
You put him back in the cage.
Summer tomorrow.
So if I could give you any job, what would you like to do?
How cook?
You want to? Do you have your food handler's license?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
What? Give me, good girl.
No.
What else have you done? Do you volunteer? Who do you volunteer with? Do you volunteer with
Joy.
Arizona Golden Rescue?
Rescue.
You volunteer with your Key Club. You did the pancake breakfast. What else have you done?
Love the pancake breakfast.
Dogs.
What else? You've done a lot of volunteer stuff.
Okay,
now
so
that-
she's very active, and disability is not a word to be used. It's a different ability. I
Yes.
keep getting reminded by
Handy
people.
capable.
Hey, I have not heard that. I've heard different ability versus disability. Now it's, what'd you say?
Handy capable.
Handy capable, not handicapped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. So I have this final question. If I was only able to ask one question to understand someone or get to know who they are, it would be this question. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you answer it first. Okay. What message would you like to leave everyone
I
based
miss-
on your journey of life? Is that a heart, honey?
Mm.
Yes.
If you could tell everybody out there one thing, what do you want to tell them?
Be careful. Be safe.
Be careful and be safe.
Yeah.
Please do not fall.
And don't fall.
Please don't fall.
That
That is
works.
not a good thing.
I fell down in the sidewalk.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Oh.
Tell her.
Later.
Okay. So can I ask Mom the same question?
Do
Yeah.
I get to answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Life is short. You never know what's going to happen. Make the most of every day. We all learned during COVID that things can change overnight. Appreciate what you have.
I want blue t-shirt.
And I need another blue t-shirt.
Extra medium. Cute pup.
Thank you, Karey, for giving us more information as far as RAD, being a mother of a child with a different ability and a, what'd you say was?
Handy capable.
I'm going to have to repeat that in my mind a few times. Handy capable. And Kelly, thank you for being my guest today also and bringing joy in so many different ways. Do you want to say something?
So, Sally,
Up.
a
Oh,
crackhead.
see,
Look at the
look
camera.
at the camera.
Joy, picture. Joy, camera. Joy,
Explanation.
That's okay. Thank you.
no shake in public.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having us. It was our pleasure. What do you want to say?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh my goodness, I love doing what I'm doing. I get to be educated every single time and be
Good.
inspired. Do you inspire me?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yes.
Kids agitated.
Kids are irritated with you.
If you have a story you want to share, know someone who has a story, please email me to the address of stories@ChristineHotchkiss.com. If you want to be a sponsor, also email me to the address of stories@ChristineHotchkiss.com. I want to thank my studio sponsor, the Motivated Mind Group, a global creative agency based right here in downtown Chandler, as well as I want to say thank you to Karey and RAD for being the business sponsor for today's episode. And again, RAD stands for Recreation and Athletics for Individuals with Disabilities. Their contact information is on the screen. And one more time, they are a nonprofit organization founded by parents of individuals with disabilities and other concerned citizens 18 years ago. As an organization of volunteer fundraisers, they are extremely proud of the history as a charity that uses almost 100% of their donations to support their citizens with disabilities. Thank you both. This was good. And I had a pet on for the first time. I love it. Until next time, everyone, I wish you well, and you take care.
Bye. I miss you.